Welcome to Life Force Rejuvenation. This is part 4 of our mini-series with Mike Ferraro, aka Tetra Healing. We're just gonna kind of freewheel it and talk a little bit about the crystals he used for healing, and then after that, he's just on his own. Well, kind of. Anyway, take it away, Mike.
Hey, John. Good to see you, buddy. Sorry, I'm over here fidgeting, trying to kind of organize my stuff. Thanks for having me again for round 4. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, cool. So, my cat did not like the singing bowl clinking. So yeah, so we were talking about some of the crystals that I use when I do my stuff. So for a while, I was covering the whole body with crystals, doing stuff with, different crystals for each of the chakras, collection of crystals, red carnelian for the root, different kinds of citrines for the other, for the sacral and the solar plexus, and just kind of going from there and just kind of going with the different crystals for the different chakras. And then I ended up refining it. So I do a lot of what I do intuitively. So I'll play with something for a bit, see how it looks, see how it feels, get feedback from my clients. And when it comes down to it, I've always known that crystals are a tool. They're not necessary, but they do help to amplify and do things of that nature. So what I've found that I really enjoy doing is basically using them. I like using the smaller ones for grounding. So I've got, let's see here. I typically use shungite, black tourmaline, and hematite for the grounding aspect, and I put those over by the feet. So just as like a little example here, like here's a little piece of hematite, or sorry, which one is that? Is that the, let's see. Yeah, that's the hematite. Black tourmaline, I got two bundles of these guys. I don't know how well my camera is going to pick any of this stuff up, but this one's got some other stuff in it as well. I believe it might be some quartz, and then got that guy there. Got a nice big old chunk of shungite. Then I've got a couple of pieces of copper, and I'll just take the copper and actually put these guys over by the feet as well. So grounding, I feel, is extremely important to get that connection with the earth, to be able to have a strong connection, to be able to release a lot of the energies. I know a lot of practitioners like to take the negative energy that they get from people and kind of release it into the ether or the universe, things of that nature. I tend to have the person do a guided meditation. I'll usually do a guided meditation in the beginning, and one of the things that I do is work on visualizing, having the client visualize establishing really strong roots into the earth, and then using that grounding to send the negative energy down into the earth, to allow the earth to take that energy from the person getting the treatment. The other thing that I like to do is ground therapy. So this stuff here, this is actually pretty cool. Sorry, I got my my black kitty's over here trying to nudge the phone on my hand. So the way that these guys work, so this one here, the part that plugs into the wall, if you notice that the 2 nodes that are typically metal that actually conduct the electricity are plastic, so they do not conduct. The only part that's metal is the actual ground. So you have to use a ground tester, electrical ground tester. They actually send you this in the kit too, which is pretty cool. So you plug this into the outlet, and it will tell you, based on the way that it lights up, whether or not the outlet is truly grounded. If it's truly grounded, every single house per code should have all of its electrical tied to a grounding rod that's driven about, the grounding rod is typically made out of rebar, and it's driven about anywhere from 8 to 12 feet into the earth. Older houses tend to not be grounded so well. My house is one of those. I've only got a few outlets. It was built in the 50s. So I've only got a handful of outlets in the house that are grounded. It's typically the ones for the bathrooms and the kitchen and stuff like that, because it was remodeled a little bit ago. But, you know, all newer homes should have grounded outlets, but you always want to test it first. So anyway, what that does is it's just the same as if you were to ground yourself by stepping on the earth with bare feet, grounding yourself out, getting those negative ions in your body to help promote healing and help with inflammation, things of that nature. And this stuff is pretty cool. So it's got the cord. You can test the outlet. So if I go to a client's house and bring my table, I bring this with me. Or if they're in the space that I rent, you know, we have grounded outlets in that place too. So anyway, hook these things up. The cords actually come with like a 25-foot cord, so it stretches pretty far. And then it's got these patches that you stick on them, which are, you know, similar to the stuff that you hook up to the body for, you know, heart rate stuff, things like that. But these will ground you out. So I will typically have the person take off their socks and stuff and have bare feet, stick these on the bottom of the feet, and then have them ground out, because it's not very often that I do treatments while somebody's laying on the ground, you know. But so that's one of the things that I feel is extremely important, is having a good solid ground. So I love working with these. You can feel it to an extent. It's not electrified. It's just grounding. So when you put them on, you tend to get just like a real subtle, almost like a fluttering sensation at the bottom of the foot. You can also put those on any part of the body where you're having actual specific muscle pain, or if there's something going on with a specific organ or whatever it might be, you can put these on that area and it will help to promote the healing in that specific area. Palms in the hands are really good as well. So anyway, I like to use all of the grounding stones, and then use the grounding patches as well to help establish that ground. So I use those, and then I have a big chunk of Lemurian quartz that I put underneath the table, underneath the massage table, as well as, where's that big daddy at? I don't know if I have it in here. I've got a large citrine. It's a smoky citrine quartz that was from the mountains in Tibet. Mined, it's like been authenticated that it was mined at like 20,000 feet, and you know, by a small family that owns this small portion of this mountain, and they go up there and they mine like a few times a year. They'll go up as long as the weather's okay, have yaks, and follow the yaks up with sacks on them and mine all these crystals and bring them down. But I use one of those as well. And I usually put that underneath the table around the area, because it's kind of got like a yellowish orange sort of hue to it. It feels like it's really good for those solar plexus and sacral areas. So I'll put that underneath and kind of use that as the intention of like an amplifying antenna underneath the table. So I have that helping to project energy upwards into the body as I'm going through the top. And then I've got a big piece of citrine. I like to use this to help cleanse the aura, clear the aura going over the top of the body. This is all stuff that I do when I have somebody in person. When I'm doing distance sessions, I'll typically set up the grounding, the actual grounding pads on myself, and then I'll surround myself with those same grounding stones. And I've got this big piece here. This is what is this? The one out of New York. Help me out. I'm drawing a blank. It's the one out of New York. Herkimer. Yeah, thank you very much. We should have drawn a blank on that one. But this is a really, really nice chunk. It's a big chunk. And I like to use this basically as an amplifier. And I usually hold this in my left hand. Left hand is typically receptive. So I will use my right hand as I'm doing distance sessions and project with my eyes closed. A lot of times I'll visualize the person in front of me, using intention, the intent to heal, visualize them in front of me, working on the body, on the different sections of the body, different energy centers and things of that nature. And then utilizing that, the Herkimer as an amplifier. And again, I don't always use the crystals, but I do like them. I do think that they make a difference, but again, it's not necessary. You don't need them. I feel, we have the ability within us to just tap in and to be able to do it without the use of all these fun little, some large toys. And then I've also got my singing bowl, which is the root chakra. It's the only one that I've got right now. Sorry, I'm going to be getting a little funky here with the phone, trying to set this up. But this one's made out of brass. I'd love to get some really nice crystal ones, but as you know, those things are super expensive. But this one here is still it's got a really pretty sound to it. And I actually have a client that is extremely sensitive to energy. And I didn't tell her what chakra this was for. And when I was doing a treatment on her, it was an in-person treatment. And I started, ringing the singing bowl, going over her body. And all she does is go, "Oh my God, don't stop. Keep doing that. Keep doing that." I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." Kept on going. After we were done, she said, "As soon as you started doing that singing bowl, just red everywhere." She's like, my whole vision with my eyes closed was just like an explosion of this beautiful red color. And I was like, it's for the root. That's awesome. She totally felt it. It was excellent. Another cool story with her as well. Same person, different treatment, like probably a year before. I've done a handful of treatments on her. I was visualizing the heart chakra. She wanted to work specifically on heart chakra issues. So I was visualizing the color green going over her heart chakra. She had her eyes closed. She didn't know where I was in the body. I was hands off, but just kind of hovering around the area. And I was visualizing the energy of the heart. And all of a sudden she just goes, "I'm seeing in my vision an anatomically correct heart in the color green." And I was just like, "Oh, freaking awesome." It was so cool. Every time I work on her, she's always able to just tap into the stuff that I'm visualizing. And it's really cool to be able to have that as an experience. But so anyway, as far as crystals go, man, that's pretty much all I really use right now. I've really enjoyed keeping it simple. Just focusing more on my intuition, knowing that the things that I'm doing as I'm going through the process of the healing that I do, giving thanks for it. Gratitude is huge. Giving thanks for the healing taking place before I even start. And as I'm doing it, feeling it in my heart that the healing is happening, and having that gratitude, it truly changes everything for me personally. Like when I do it, it amplified my results tenfold by having that gratitude, releasing doubt. There was a process, and I think I talked about that possibly in the first video. I can't remember which one it was, but the process of being a Reiki master, doing Reiki, and then having it kind of transform into intuitive healing, which is kind of more of what I feel like I do now, where I felt like Reiki was a stepping stone. Still beautiful and amazing and extremely powerful. I recommend it for anybody to get it from an actual Reiki practitioner, or to even get attuned, because it's a great way to be able to just experience energy. And it's really easy to get into. It's really easy to do, but it's a stepping stone, and it's not the be all end all of anything. And it was a great way for me to kind of just get my teeth wet. Is that right? Teeth wet?
Feet wet.
Feet wet. Thank you. Teeth wet. Get my teeth wet. Get my feet wet. Sink my feet into something. But yeah, man. So it was was a beautiful situation of being able to have the experience with Reiki and then have that turn into diving deeper and just having that moment with myself and the universe and going, hey, I know that I'm just barely scratching the surface and I need help, and being able to open up myself as much as I can to this energy and to be able to feel it to my highest potential. And that's when things started basically going, hey, well, stop relying on this label of yourself of being a Reiki master and using these symbols, and start focusing more on what it is that you're feeling with your intuition. Allow yourself to know that you have these abilities, that everybody has these abilities. All you have to do is just have that confidence, realizing that doubt kills everything. Doubt is the killer of freaking everything. And it's so hard to release doubt when you have it. And especially when it comes to things of the esoteric and you're really trying to tap into your true power. And, you know, when you start releasing doubt and you start opening yourself up, you start having these just amazing experiences that are out of this world. And it's funny how you'll go through these amazing highs and you'll reach a certain spot and where you're just like, holy crap, how can it even get any better than this? Obviously, it can, but then you'll start to kind of come down, and then you'll have those little moments of doubt that'll start to kind of peek back in, because it's like the time in between the moments of holy crapness are they start to kind of fade a little bit, and then you'll have those little moments of doubt that'll pop in. It's like the old school programming starts to return, or something along those lines, just being in the normal 3D world, and we're always surrounded by all these different frequencies and vibrations of things that are constantly trying to bring us down, and you just get caught up in all that stuff. So I think it's a natural thing for doubt to kind of return, and rear its ugly head every now and then. So then you got to kind of go through the process, but each time you do, the highs are higher and the lows are not as low. So you kind of continue to sort of go up and up and up and but yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much my experience, man. I'm just
that is so beautiful.
I'm along for the ride as long as much as everybody else is, and I've had some pretty amazing experiences, and I'm blessed to be able to share the things that I've learned. And my goal is to also try to help as many people as I can realize their personal power and realize that everyone has the ability to tap into this energy and to experience the highest versions of themselves.
That is so cool. All right, you gotta tell us about the owl story.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is probably about 3 years ago now, maybe 4. I had recently had my experience where I was asking for guidance, and I was doing a lot of meditation outside. The weather wasn't quite as crappy as it is now, being in Seattle area. But so I was standing out in my backyard, and as you saw in that last video, those trees were, that was kind of my backdrop, and I was facing that direction, facing those trees. It was almost dark out, and I had just gotten done meditating. It was a very powerful meditation, barefoot, really good with grounding. God, it was super cool. Felt like my fingers were extending into the earth. I could feel my feet feel like they were going down. I was getting, that sensation you'll get sometimes on your forehead when your third eye starts to kind of activate and you can feel the tingle. That tingling sensation spread all over my face and like up my head, and like my crown was going. It was really amazing. It lasted probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it kind of went away, and I was sort of coming out of it. My eyes were still closed, but I was out of the meditation, and I was just kind of standing there, just like, wow, just kind of basking in the feeling. And all of a sudden I heard something go slap, and it hit a leaf in a tree to my left. And I look, and it was dark enough to where I couldn't quite make out details, but I could tell that it was an owl. And it had about a 3-foot wingspan. It was flying right at my face. And out loud, I went, holy shit. And then at the last second, I mean, it must have been probably no more than 12 inches from my face. It swooped up like this, and then landed in a branch right next to my head. That was, I mean, I could have literally reached up and touched it with my hand. It was right there. It landed in the branch. It turned its head and looked at me, and then like hopped its body forward, and it's just sitting there staring at me. And I'm just like, oh my God, this wild animal flew out of the trees, flew right at my face, jumped up and just landed there. And I was in awe. I had full body chills. I was just like, oh, I just spit. I had full body chills going. I was just like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I really didn't know what to do. So I went back into meditation. I just felt a whole bunch of gratitude, and that probably lasted about 2 or 3 minutes maybe. And then I opened my eyes and it was still there. And I just turned and I was looking at it. And I was just like, wow, thank you so much for being here. This is just so amazing. And then it jumped off the branch and then swooped at my head and then just took off and flew silently into the trees. And ever since then, I've been hearing them, and they've been, that was the first moment when, I've lived here now for 10 years. That was about 4 years ago. The whole time that I've lived here before then, I didn't see or hear any owls whatsoever. Ever since that experience, they have been all over the place back here. Like driving my truck home, twice it's happened to me, where it would dive bob my windshield. And I've got a picture of one on my phone that landed in the tree right next to me. And I slammed the brakes on my truck and I was like, holy crap, took a few pictures of it. Just the other day, I was downstairs in my bathroom, and I could hear one right outside my window. I mean, it sounded like it was right there. I could have opened the window, and I was busy doing other stuff, so I couldn't get to the window. But it was still just like they're all over the place now, and they're yeah, man, they're amazing creatures. That was an awesome experience, though. I'll never forget that one.
Your spirit guide is an owl. That's kind of for sure.
Yeah. Seeing
All right.
wacky things too, with like just having the owls all over the place. Random cars going by, owls. Just it's definitely made itself known.
That is so amazing. I am so grateful that you allowed me to, YouTube you.
Right on, man.
To interview you and share your experiences, your strengths, and your hopes. You're an amazing man, and
Thanks,
I am
buddy.
honored to share space with you here on the internet, everywhere. It's so cool. I love you so
Right
much.
on, man. Thank you. You too.
And
sure.
I'll definitely have you back for some more stuff. I got to do some more, get some more people on here, and get this show rolling.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you so much for the opportunity. My website's tetrahealing.com, tetra-healing.com. I'm on Facebook as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, man.
You're so special. You just radiate. I think